Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tom Worth Jr. and today I want to talk about the new Russian United States, or I guess it would be the Trump-Putin axis. And this is a tough one. This is what we all knew would happen. As with so much of this, we all knew that this would happen. But still, when it actually does, it's a bitter pill. And as someone who grew up, I remember watching Superman on TV. It was just a silly little daily show. I guess it was daily. Maybe it was weekly. I don't know. I watched it in the afternoon as a kid. But it was old, and it was Superman, and it was a show. And the start of it, it would play his little song, and it would say he was fighting for truth, justice, in the American way. And this is not Donald Trump. There's nothing about those three things that describe Trump in any way. And Russia, the Soviet Union, as Putin's trying to put it back together, but Russia is not a country that we have any shared values with, or any shared history with, or any economic partnership with. That there's nothing there. There's zero reason to partner with them on anything other than Donald Trump. No American president has wanted to be best buds with Russia, or certainly not the Soviet Union once that came into being. Their system of government, their value, their cultural values. Russia has amazing culture. The people do the arts, the writing, the dance, the painting. But as a nation, there's nothing that we have in common with them, and there's not even an advantageous, like you might say, someone like Saudi Arabia. We don't have much in common with them, but at least there's something there. At least we would use their oil, right? And that's why that partnership was there, and we would protect them with our military. And at least there was something there. At least you could say that's why we're doing this. There's literally nothing for us to partner with Russia on. Nothing. It is a kleptocratic state with one man sitting at the top. He starts wars for no reason. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people have been killed on both sides in this war that started 3 years ago, and it's depleted his country to the point of exhaustion. The only reason he hadn't already stopped was because he was holding out that Trump would win the election, and that Trump would gift him it's not even a negotiated peace. It's a dictated set of terms to Zelensky. Zelensky isn't even on these calls that are deciding the fate of his country. And the Europeans aren't either. This is what's so disturbing. This is why this is a new Trump-Putin axis. It's just the two of them. It's not our nation. We don't support this as a nation. The Republican Congress is going along with it. But this is 100% Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. And it's really no different than Hitler and Stalin. It really isn't. Except for Hitler would turn on Stalin and Stalin would turn on Hitler, and they're both that kind of guy, and Putin is that kind of guy. But Trump's not going to turn on him. Trump just wants whatever it is he's privately getting from Putin, whether that's the agreement not to release the information Putin has on Trump, or a hotel deal. I don't know. It's what I used to think it was, a hotel deal, or money. It just seems so small now. There just has to be more, and I don't know what it is. And you have Pete Hegseth over there just acting like a big tough guy. Like, he's going to tell Europe how it's going to be. And thankfully, Finland and Sweden have already joined NATO because Ukraine's not going to be able to do that anymore. They're going to get no NATO protection, and if any European countries defend Ukraine, Article 5 stipulates that we would have to defend our NATO allies if they are attacked. We have now said that, hey, we're not doing that. So if you want to go in and help Ukraine, that's on you. We're not doing that. We're not assisting our European allies if Russia attacks them in Ukraine, peacekeeping force or something like that. I'm not worried about Russia invading nuclear armed countries in Europe. I'm not worried about Russia marching on Paris or sailing a fleet to London. That's not going to happen. But I am worried about the smaller countries, just piece by piece, him putting together the Soviet Union once more. And Donald Trump is officially not going to stand in the way. For Hegseth to go over there and demand that European countries that are in NATO now, okay, they had to contribute 2% of their GDP, their gross domestic product. That's everything they produce as a country. They had to commit to 2% of that dollar value going towards NATO. And they fell short of that. But now Hegseth comes in and says, oh, by the way, that's got to be 5% now. Like, who is he to just unilaterally say what the new terms of NATO are? This is ridiculous. This is not truth. This is certainly not justice, and it's not the American way. And it's very disheartening, as is so much of this. But the Trump-Putin axis is only going to last as long as Trump is in power. Then we can get back to normal. But in the meantime, Europe has 4 years to worry about Russia. There's talk of, or I guess fearful speculation, that Ukraine will now be divided, much as East and West Germany was. And that one of the darkest days that Putin had was seeing that partition go away, and East Germany being absorbed into the West. Now, the West didn't take over East Germany. East Germany begged West Germany to be part of it. For East Germany to survive economically, they had devolved into a police state, a surveillance state, where everyone was spying on everyone else in the country, and they were being paid by the East German police, the Stasi, to spy on each other and rat each other out. And that's what Ukraine would become. And I don't know, I watched this series, not the whole series, just one episode a few weeks ago, but I think it was from a few years ago, about the 80s. I want to say it was on HBO, but the episode was about the fall of the Berlin Wall, and it was amazing. Just all that led up to it. It actually happened on George H.W. Bush's watch, but the seeds were sown earlier in the 80s with Gorbachev and with Reagan. And Reagan had been, just hardcore anti-Soviet. And it got to the point where we were all pretty sure we were going to die in nuclear annihilation. And that's just kind of what many of us believed, that there was no way we would live to grow old, that this was we're all going to blow each other up. And you just kind of went on about your life. As a kid, as a teenager, that's just what you thought. It's just one of those things, But Reagan, once he started to see the impact when he met with Gorbachev, that, wow, this guy really is afraid of me and afraid that I'm going to start World War III, and it may lead him to be preemptive about it. That's when he started to back off. He kind of had an epiphany, and he started to back off and thaw things out. And when that happened, everything just started opening up with Gorbachev, and eventually the Berlin Wall fell in East Germany, and the whole Soviet Union fell, except for Russia itself. these countries were spun off to be on their own. This is what Putin's trying to put back together. But in East Germany, they had to be united with West Germany because their country was in economic shambles. And West Germany, the West German people had to agree to take this entire other country, this it wouldn't even be like the United States taking Mexico. If Mexico's not a failed state, but if Mexico was a failed state, it wouldn't even be like that, because the United States has a lot more economic might than West Germany did, and East Germany was big, and it was a lot of people, and Mexico is so much smaller than we are. It would be much easier for us to take on Mexico than it was for West Germany to take on East Germany back then, and just reintegrate them and say we're all Germans and we're going to figure this out together, and us Westerners, our standard of living will go down for a while, but this is what we need to do. The fear is that if you roll that back to East versus West in the country of Germany, that's what Ukraine will become. And it's kind of funny because it would be Eastern Ukraine and Western Ukraine. I don't even know what they would call Eastern Ukraine, if they'd come up with its own other name, or if that's just part of Russia now and it has no identity at all. I don't know. It's just very sad and very sobering today to see what's coming out, and it's going to happen. No, it didn't take 24 hours, but we all knew that he would just hand it over to Putin. That's why he won't have anyone else on these calls. He's not wanting anyone to hear what Putin's demanding and what Trump's promising. He doesn't want any European ears on this or Zelensky ears. It's just them, and only they will know what is said and what is promised. So that's what we're looking at today. Trump-Putin axis, new to the world. Congratulations. I hope you like your new thing, world. It's not truth, justice in the American way. So far from it. And this is our path now. I hope you all are doing well, and we'll talk to you later.